So we
I'll
probably
just
should
screw him into it.
dive into it. Today's topic is we're going to talk about All-Star Weekend, All-Star game selections. I'm going to obviously pick my 5 West starters, and you're going to pick your 5 East starters. And I guess I'm going to jump right into it. So, I don't know, have you looked at the returns, the first returns?
Well, the second one came out today in terms of the fan voting.
Maybe I'm just behind times then, clearly, but I don't know whatever Google's given me here. So I guess let's start with the guards. So I guess with the fan returns here, we got Steph, Luca, Ja, Clay. Who's even voting for Clay? It's like a pity vote, isn't it?
It's the same people who vote for Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Donovan Mitchell, Lillard, Westbrook, and Anthony Edwards. Look at that. He's moving up the list. So anyway, so my first pick for the West guard what's it called now? Like backcourt, is it? West backcourt position is a pretty obvious choice here. Gonna be MVP this year, unless he hurts himself somehow. Steph Curry, all right, 26 points a game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and obviously, top record out there in the West, or was that? I don't know if that's changed after they lost again, I think today. But obviously, Steph Curry definitely has to be in the All-Star game starting 5. That's a no-brainer. The second backcourt spot. Now, this one here was a good challenge. One you're going to debate. I can tell you already. Okay, and I actually was leaning when we first talked about this a week ago. I was going, I really, really, really wanted to choose Luca. I really did. And then Ja and the Grizzlies just keep winning, and he just keeps propelling them to wins. And I don't know where they're up to, what, third or fourth now in the West. They won again today. I saw that. And 25 points a game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Ja Morant has to get himself a start here in the All-Star game. I think that is a no-brainer in the West. Even though there's quality cards there, I think he's having an All-Star caliber season. Obviously, he's killing it this year. In the 3 front court positions, obviously, because now we don't need to pick centers and forwards, right? It's a bit easier. Pretty straightforward. Let's bring up the ballots here. We got LeBron, Jokic, Paul George. Is he listed as what, a forward?
Yeah, it's small forward or power forward. The thing
I
with
thought
Paul
it was a
George,
two
he's
guard.
been
Surely it was a 2 guard.
and he'll be out for a bit. No, forward.
Anyway, Wiggins, Draymond,
It's basketball this day and age.
AD, Carl Anthony Towns, obviously Carmelo at number 8. Is that another pity vote there? Cool. We all loved Carmelo 10 years ago. Gobert and Ayton, obviously. There you go. Your man's in there. Ayton's got some love, all right? Not JaVale McGee, but,
There's some good delay on this.
This is going to be a high-quality podcast here.
You need to fix this up.
I know. It's just the fucking hot weather, I think. Anyway, so the first pick for the West front court. I don't think anyone's going to debate this. 29 points a game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and all the memes are saying he's having a down year. LeBron definitely is going to be an all-star starter. All right, everyone loves LeBron. Lakers could probably win a few more games, but it's probably not all LeBron's fault. So that's okay. Give him a starting spot there. Obviously, second front court player. This dude, 25 points a game, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, MVP. Denver again, probably could be winning some more games, but we'll blame it to injuries and COVID and everything else. So Jokic definitely has to get himself a nod there as a starter, even if did you see that Markieff is still injured?
Yeah, that's an impressive stat. That's an impressive stat as well. Like, not only is putting up MVP numbers, but also has the ability to take you out for a quarter of a season.
Beautiful. And as Markieff has put it, you don't want some fat boy pushing you in the back, because you get you miss some severe time. I've never had that happen to me. who can understand that, I guess. And the third spot here in the West front court, well, this one was obviously, there's a toss-up there. I went with my gut feeling of who I thought should be a deserving All-Star. He probably won't be a starter, that's the reality. But, his stats, if I can use the right mouse, 15 points, 15 rebounds, okay, and he's blocking shots as always he does. Defensive Player of the Year, all right, Rudy Gobert. All right, he's a perennial all-star. Let's be clear. This guy kills it every year, and there's more flashy, popular names. All right, and I seriously considered Ayton, and I seriously considered Draymond. All right, and I was like, but you know what? This guy here, he's anchoring this Utah team, and obviously they wouldn't be a top 4 team without him. Simple as that. So there are my 3 front court players. What do you think?
We're 5 for 5 for the people that we picked. I did not disagree with any of those picks. So just to add on what a boring debate. I mean, to add on to your Rudy Gobert thing, he's been injured or he's been out, I think, for COVID protocols, one of the two. And they've taken a big turn. So Utah's actually dropped from 3rd to 4th because of him not being present, and they've lost to some questionable teams. To double down on the Ja Morant praise, obviously is just playing almost like at a young Derrick Rose level, and there's a lot of comparisons that get drawn there. And they're 3rd in the West currently, so they're definitely overperforming the expectation there, and people are now starting to put them in, are they contenders? Because they have wins over the Warriors twice, the Suns, the Nets. They are not just racking up wins against the right teams. They're beating everybody. But yeah, other than that, not much to add. Well done.
Well done. I got full marks there. I have a feeling you're not going to get full marks from me, but sure. It's all over you.
I think I'm 4 or 5 easy, and then it was the 5th spot. So what I'll do is I'll start with well, actually, I don't know. I'm just going to go random, and then I'll go to the last 2. The last 2 are the ones you could disagree with me on. All right, so the first one, who's listed as a guard, even though would play as a forward, but we're not going to get into that, DeMar DeRozan, leading the Bulls with incredibly impressive stats. So averaging 26, 5, and 4.7, or almost 5, if you want to round up. Shooting incredibly efficient of 51% effective field goal. But obviously the 4th quarter stats are quite impressive for him as well. So pretty much leading anything in the 4th quarter, and also has turned around the Bulls franchise. Yes, there was a lot of free agent signings for them, but he was probably the biggest name / having the biggest impact. So nothing to really question there. Second for a forward spot is Kevin Durant, pretty much the only decent part of Brooklyn's season besides Patty Mills, but Patty Mills is not going to win you anything like Kevin Durant can. So, almost averaging 37 and 6, effective field goal of 56, has a very high win share this season, already been credited for 6, and that will probably continue to increase based on the fact that no one wants to play for New Jersey or Brooklyn for multiple games in a row. Next spot is another forward. It's Giannis, who's averaging 28, 11, and 6. And it is quite surprising that he's not put in more MVP conversations. I think Jokic has very impressive stats, but the record's not helping him. Steph had the really hot start with the 3-point record, but that is cooling off a little bit. And I think that will continue to cool off with the integration of Clay again. And also, if their record kind of sits around the 2nd or 3rd, I think Giannis needs to get a bit more credit than he is. Shooting incredible, high win share, and pretty durable. And, I think another thing just to praise him on, I was very excited in Game 4 of the Hawks series when he went down and it looked like it was just an open gate for Phoenix. And he comes back, puts on a finals performance, and now has come back to doing exactly what he's always done. But he's... just if he was
really injured, you guys might have a ring.
Yeah, we would. No, 100% we would. There's no way. But you look at it. His career averages, right? So his career numbers. I mean, his career numbers are a bit skewed because of his first couple of seasons, but he's just outperforming those, and just all right, great. Next position, it's a forward. This is one that maybe disagreed with, maybe not. I've went for Joel Embiid, or Joel, if we could call them by the Australian pronunciation. Obviously having a very nice streak recently with 7 in a row and 30 plus in each of those. But, after the very slow start in which he took a knock to the knee and then copped COVID, he's pretty much had above career numbers, 27, 10, and 4, shooting incredibly well, being, pretty much Philly's best player and, slowly pulling them out of where they are. So they're currently sitting 5th and basically 4 games behind the Bucks. So you could say that they're in a different tier at this point, but, chugging along quite nicely. And the last guard spot, which is one that also you could disagree with and was potentially, it's not the hardest, it's just the name factor, okay? So the 3 considerations here was Zach, Levine, Trae Young, and James Harden. Now, Trae Young has probably the best individual stats out of the 3, but let's not get too extreme. It's 27 points, 4 rebounds, 9.4 assists. James Harden has the triple-double stat, sort of 22, 8, and 10, basically. But Zach Levine has the points. He's 25.5, almost 5 rebounds, 4 assists, almost identical stats to DeMar DeRozan in terms of the shooting clip, maybe a little bit more efficient from 3, but very similar stats. And I feel like we have to reward winning. They're number 1 in the East. No one expected this. He's been a fringe all-star for a couple of years and probably has been snubbed over. He is doing exactly what he has done in past seasons, but now he has a better team around him, has the performance to do it. Trae Young currently is anchoring the 12th team in the East, 4 wins behind the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics, who probably have players that, you could make a case and say deserve to be on their all-star roster as well. And I'm sure he will make it. But they're only 2 wins better than the Pacers, who have been a bit of a train wreck. And then, obviously then you got Pistons and Magic just in their own tier completely. And for James Harden, I don't think he deserves as much credit as Kevin Durant does for the performance of the Brooklyn Nets. He also is having a down year in terms of his stats. So his points and shooting have went down, but obviously his rebounds and assists have went up. I think that might be him deferring the role. I also think it's the fact that he's had a hamstring injury, and I also think he battles some weight issues. And I think those 2 things hand in hand, he has lost a step and doesn't deserve that starting spot over Zach Levine.
So your vote 5 is Zach Levine, is that correct?
Zach Levine and DeMar would take the backcourt. It would be a Bulls backcourt in the All-Star game.
All right. Look, your front court, well, the returns here that I was looking at, we had KD, Giannis, Embiid. I can't disagree. I think that were the 3 on my list too. I think I said to you earlier in the week, I said this year's debate about the 5 feels quite limited for different reasons compared to previous years in many instances. I guess looking at the returns to the others that were up there in the top 10, Tatum, Butler, Jarrett Allen, yeah, he's having a pretty good season. Bam hasn't even played for like 3/4 of the season. Miles Bridges, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Vucevic. Which again, the Bulls are winning and he's part of that winning team. So, fair enough. But I think from the names there from 4 through to 10, either for reasons that the teams aren't winning, they're sort of players that are up and coming, or obviously, but they're not there yet. Not like as a starter, maybe as a reserve consideration, but not as a starter. The only other one there really that stands out is maybe Jimmy Butler. But again, injuries is, he's played like half his games. I drafted him in fantasy, regretting it. So, it's in a challenging season for Jimmy Butler and his tailbone or some shit like that. So I definitely agree with your 5 frontcourt starters there. I think with your backcourt starters, I think, again, the list here, you had DeMar, obviously, can't disagree with DeMar. I think he's having a potential MVP year. Still a sort of a long way to go to an extent. So you don't know what's going to happen if they can keep winning, if you can keep making buckets and maybe a couple more game winners. He'll definitely be up there in the votes, I think, and considered. Harden, Young, Levine, LaMelo Ball at 5. Again, it feels a bit of a stretch as a starter. Like one day, I'm sure he'll start the All-Star game, but not yet. Kyrie. And then Derrick Rose, and then we're going to Tyler Hero. All right, so I don't know how Tyler Hero is at number 8, but I guess he's a popular kid. And then we got Garland and Fred VanVleet. which I know he's started to get hot a bit, and, you know, good on him. You know, Raptors are winning a few games now and just knocking on the door, I think, in the top 8 or something like that. So, I'm sort of stretching this conversation out because you were 5 from 5. My pick was Zach Levine. And I was like, and I looked at the stats and I looked at the options. And again, it was sort of a picking 2 from the top 4. And I was like, can you really vote 2 all-star starters for the East from the same team? And to me, the answer is fuck yeah, why not? the 2.
Well, I don't know if you remember the Atlanta Hawks that year where they had 4. They had like the whole team basically got picked because
I don't think they were starting though, but I think that one starter maybe.
They were all reserves.
3 reserves maybe.
Something like that.
Yeah,
it was random.
Look, the East are killing it. Sorry, the Bulls are killing it in the East. DeMar's a big part of that, but Levine's putting up identical stats virtually, and without him, DeMar's back in you know, San Antonio. All right, simple as that. You know, he puts up big numbers. They'll sit in the, you know, the playing spot. And that's that. But, you know, the combination and what they've been able to do in Chicago with, obviously, you know, the rotation, the bench players, and bring in Lonzo Ball as well, they're killing it. So I think, I guess, you know, we've probably talked about this before. Winning does have a big component of who is deserving, I guess. And I think I definitely agree that Zach Levine and DeMar DeRozan should be starters in this year's All-Star game. You know, simply because they're winning, and the stats definitely say that they're a big part of that winning.